The deep sea is a mysterious and unexplored realm, home to some of the most bizarre and fascinating creatures on Earth. In this video, we'll take a look at 5 of the most bizarre looking deep sea creatures and learn about the adaptations that allow them to thrive in this harsh environment. From the giant isopods that resemble oversized pill bugs to deep sea ghost sharks that have eerie and ghost-like appearances, these creatures are truly unique and awe-inspiring. Join us on this journey to the depths of the ocean and discover some of the most weird-looking creatures on Earth. Giant isopods. Deep in the heart of the ocean, where the sunlight never reaches, there lives a creature that is both bizarre and captivating. This is a giant isopod, a massive crustacean that resembles a giant roly-poly. The giant isopod is the largest known isopod. It can grow up to 16 inches long. It has a hard, segmented shell that protects it from the crushing pressures of the deep sea. Its head is large and triangular, with 2 pairs of antennae and 2 large compound eyes. The giant isopod's eyes are highly sensitive to light and can even detect the faint bioluminescence of other deep sea creatures. Giant isopods are scavengers and feed on a variety of dead and decaying organic matter, including fish carcasses, whale falls, and sunken ships. They have powerful jaws and a large stomach, which allows them to eat large meals. Giant isopods can also go for long periods of time without food, thanks to their slow metabolism. These creatures are relatively slow-moving creatures and use their legs to walk along the seafloor. They can also swim short distances by flapping their pleopods. They may be named giant, but they're not considered to be dangerous to humans. One of the most fascinating things about giant isopods is their ability to survive in such extreme conditions. The deep sea is a harsh environment, with cold temperatures, high pressure, and little food. But giant isopods have adapted to these conditions and thrive in the dark and mysterious realm. One of the most famous historical encounters with the giant isopod occurred in 1996. A team of scientists from the Johnson Sea Link submersible were exploring the ocean floor off the coast of California when they came across a giant isopod clinging to a piece of sunken wood. The submersible's pilot, Bruce Robinson, described the isopod as being the size of a football and having eyes as big as our headlights. Robinson and his team managed to capture the isopod and bring it back to the surface to study. The isopod was later released back into the ocean. Giant isopods are a reminder of the strange and wonderful creatures that inhabit the deep sea. They're also a reminder of the importance of protecting these fragile ecosystems. Giant isopods have also been featured in popular culture. For example, they appear in the video game Subnautica and the movie Aliens. Squidworms. The squidworm is a type of marine annelid worm, and it's the only known species in its genus, Tutodotterus. It's a free-swimming worm and can be found in the deep-sea water columns at depths of 2,039 to 2,912 meters, or 6,690 feet to 9,554 feet. It's named for its 10 squid-like appendages, which emerge from its head and are used for swimming and feeding. The squidworms also have a pair of large eyes, which are located on the top of its head. It's also a scavenger and feeds on marine snow and other small organic particles. It then uses its squid-like appendages to filter the water for food. In 2007, using a remotely operated underwater robot, a team of scientists came across a group of squidworms in the deep waters of the Celebes Sea of the Philippines. The scientists were amazed by the creature's bizarre appearance and unique adaptations to the deep sea environment. The scientists used a remotely operated vehicle, an ROV, to film the squidworms. The ROV's cameras captured stunning footage of the squidworms swimming through the water and feeding on the unexplored realm. Karen Osborne, a marine biologist at the Scripps Institute of Oceanology in Lajala, Caliph, stated that the creature is eyeless. To make its way around, it relies on frilly organs on its head for smell, and what seems to be structures at the tips of its appendages specialized for touch or smell. The scientists published their findings in the journal Marine Biology in 2011. Their paper was the first to describe the squidworm in detail and provided new insight into the diversity and adaptations of life in the deep sea. Since the initial discovery of the squidworm, there have been a few other encounters with these creatures. All of the encounters with squidworms have been brief and opportunistic. The scientists have not been able to study these creatures in detail or learn much about their biology and behaviors, since the species have adapted to thrive in the harsh environments of the deep sea and stay that way. The umbrella mouth gulper. The gulper eel, known scientifically as Eurypharynx pelicanoides, is one of the most bizarre-looking creatures in the deep sea. Its most notable attribute is the large mouth. This enormous mouth is much larger than the eel's body. The mouth is loosely hinged and can be opened wide enough to swallow an animal much larger than itself. The hapless fish is then deposited into a pouch-like lower jaw, which resembles that of a pelican. In fact, this eel is sometimes referred to as the pelican eel. The gulper's stomach can also stretch to accommodate its large meals. This giant mouth gives the eel its other common name of umbrella mouth gulper. The gulper eel is much different in appearance than most other eel species. Its pectoral fins are so tiny as to be almost non-existent. Unlike many other deep-sea creatures, it has very small eyes. It's believed that the eyes evolved to detect faint traces of light rather than form images. The gulper eel also has a very long, whip-like tail. Specimens have been brought to the surface in fishing nets that have been known to have their long tails tied into several knots. The eel uses its long tail for movement and is tipped with a light-producing organ known as a photosphere. Through a process known as bioluminescence, the photosphere glows pink and can even give off occasional red flashes. Since the eel's body is not built for chasing prey, it's believed that the eel uses its light as a fishing lure to attract fishes and other creatures close to its enormous mouth. When the prey is in range, the eel lunges and snaps it up in its gigantic mouth. The gulper eel can vary in lengths from 3 to 6 feet, which is about 1 to 2 meters. It's usually dark or dark green in color, and sometimes has a white line or groove on either side of the dorsal fin. In spite of its gigantic mouth, it's believed that the gulper eel's diet consists mainly of small crustaceans. Since the eel has very tiny teeth, it probably does not eat large fish on a regular basis. The large mouth may be an adaptation to allow the eel to eat a wider variety of prey when food is scarce. It can also be used like a large net. The eel can swim into a large group of shrimp or other crustaceans with its mouth wide open, scooping them up as it goes. The gulper eel is also known to feed on cephalopods, or squids, and other small invertebrates. When the eel gulps its prey into its massive jaw, it also takes in a large amount of water, which is then slowly expelled through its gill slits. Gulper eels themselves are preyed upon by lancetfish and other deep-sea predators. Because of the extreme depths at which it lives, most of what we know about the gulper eel comes from specimens that are inadvertently caught in deep-sea fishing nets. The gulper eel is found in all of the world's tropical and temperate oceans at depths ranging from 500 to 6,000 feet, or about 150 to 1,800 meters. There have been no documented encounters with the deep-sea umbrella mouth gulper in its natural habitat by humans. These elusive creatures reside in the deepest parts of the oceans, often exceeding depths of 2,000 meters, where the extreme pressure, total darkness, and other challenging conditions make direct encounters exceedingly rare. Deep-sea ctenophores. Deep-sea ctenophores are like magical, see-through blobs that live in the very, very deep parts of the ocean. They're kind of like underwater fairies because they can light up in beautiful colors. These fairy-like creatures move gracefully in the water using rows of tiny hair-like things called cilia. Ctenophores are a bit like hunters. They mostly eat tiny sea creatures and use their sticky tentacles to catch them. Once they've caught something, they bring it to their mouth, which is right in the middle of their body. These creatures are mainly found in the darkest, deepest parts of the ocean, where it's super dark and the water pressure is very high. People don't often come across them because they live so deep down. Studying ctenophores helps scientists understand the incredible variety of life in the deep ocean and how these amazing creatures survive in such extreme conditions. It's like a window into a mysterious and beautiful world hidden beneath the waves. There have been fewer recorded encounters or historical accounts of them in comparison to more prominent deep-sea species. However, the study of deep-sea ctenophores has been ongoing in the field of marine biology. Researchers have made significant progress in understanding these creatures and their role in deep-sea ecosystems through more recent scientific explorations and studies. These jellyfish-like species eat small creatures, mainly consisting of zooplankton, such as krill, snail larvae, and amphipods. When they eat, they release important nutrients back into the water, which helps other creatures survive. Some of them can even make their own light, which they use to find food and scare away enemies. One interesting fact about ctenophores is that they are hermaphrodites and have an unusual breeding ritual. Ctenophores can release both eggs and sperm back into the ocean, and self-fertilization has been proposed as the primary method through which most ctenophores reproduce. They are part of the food chain too, as some bigger creatures do eat them. These ctenophores move up and down in the ocean at different times, and this affects where other creatures live. Deep-sea ghost sharks. Deep-sea ghost sharks, also known as chimeras or ratfish, are remarkable denizens of the ocean's most profound and enigmatic realms. Their unusual appearance sets them apart from more conventional sharks, with elongated bodies and large, wing-like pectoral fins. The name ghost shark is fitting, as many species have semi-translucent or pale skin, adding to their ethereal and somewhat eerie quality. These elusive creatures prefer the deep ocean, often residing at extreme depths well beyond 1,000 meters below the surface, where they navigate in near darkness. Some ghost shark species possess bioluminescent organs, which serve a variety of functions in their lightless habitat. Despite their ancient lineage, ghost sharks are creatures of ongoing scientific intrigue due to their adaptations to the extreme conditions of the deep sea, where high pressures, cold temperatures, and limited food resources are the norm. Their unique anatomy, solitary behaviors, and ancient evolutionary history makes them fascinating subjects for researchers studying the mysteries of the deep sea. As exploration and research continues, ghost sharks continue to reveal their secrets and play a vital role in our understanding of the hidden realms of the ocean. Historical records of these creatures primarily consist of scientific descriptions and taxonomical studies rather than dramatic encounters or interactions with humans. Chimeras have been observed during deep-sea expeditions and remotely operated vehicles and ROV dives in modern times, contributing to our understanding of their biology, behavior, and distribution. As the field of deep-sea exploration and marine biology continues to evolve, our knowledge of deep-sea ghost sharks also deepens, but these fascinating creatures remain largely mysterious and elusive due to their remote habitat and deep-sea environments. Only 5% of the ocean has been explored. Many of the waters remain unexplored, uncharted, and unseen by our eyes. Can you imagine what the remaining 95% of the ocean would look like? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated whenever I upload a new video. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, Please leave them in the comment sections below.